Welcome back to the story of Aniruddha, the man who has killed his wife Pallavi and is on the run. It is said, no person escapes the consequences of his or her wrongdoings. But it wasn't going to be easy for the lead investigator in the case, Amitabh Mukherjee, to reach Aniruddha. Hi and a very warm welcome. You are listening to Crime Tales. I am Subbu. Case 2, Killer on the Run, Part 2. Aniruddha last called Riddhi, the woman for whom he killed Pallavi. That was from Patna. But there was no trace of Aniruddha in Patna. Every little past of Aniruddha was dug up and the police team even reached the college where he did his engineering from and started tracking all his batchmates and friends whom Aniruddha could contact or probably reach out to. But would he do that? Aniruddha's parents Somnath Das and Geeta Das were under constant surveillance, their phones tapped in the hope that Aniruddha would contact them. But he never did. Where had he gone? Where had he vanished? It was a tough task for the police team. Amitabh had covered every possible avenue that Aniruddha would escape to. They had his photo, they had his phone, which he had cleverly left behind at his flat. His bank accounts were being tracked, but the only thing the cops could find is that Aniruddha had already taken out a lot of money before he escaped and was making no more transactions. Probably Aniruddha had planned to set up a life with Riddhi, somewhere far away. But now, Riddhi having turned against him, where could he escape to? For several weeks, Amitabh kept on his search for Aniruddha. But as time passed, the hopes of reaching him kept getting dimmer. India, with over 1 billion population, over 28 states, which corner of the country would he have gone into hiding? Sunil Ganguly, an IT professional working in Vashi at the outskirts of Mumbai city, married to his batchmate Anjali. 5 days after he contacted Riddhi, after she refused to come with him and had threatened to go to the police, Aniruddha started sensing that his life was now going to be that of a criminal on the run. Where do I run away to? He wondered. He had recovered from the anger and hurt at Riddhi's refusal to go with him. Now his mind was racing to find out how could he save himself from being caught. Aniruddha reached Vashi, his friend Sunil Ganguly's house. Sunil and Anjali were his batchmates. As he walked up to Sunil's flat, he was wondering would the cops have reached Sunil? Would Sunil and his wife Anjali know anything about what Aniruddha had done? He took the chance to still reach up to Sunil. A very lucky chance. Sunil was happy to see Aniruddha after nearly 3 years. So was Anjali. Aniruddha realized that neither of them had any clue about what he had done back in Kolkata. As fate would have it, Aniruddha had never told Sunil about his marriage to Pallavi. What Sunil knew was only about Riddhi, whom Aniruddha was in love with. But Aniruddha turning up in Vashi at his flat all of a sudden needed to be explained. The survival instinct in Aniruddha was quick in working out a story. I have left Kolkata, explained Aniruddha. There's nothing left between Riddhi and me anymore. I don't want to be in that place, which reminds me of her. I want to be away. Could I stay with you for a few days? Sunil and Anjali, understanding the heartbreak that Aniruddha is going through, welcome him to stay with them. But what are you planning to do, Aniruddha? If you're not thinking of going back to Kolkata, will you be looking out for work here? Are you planning to settle here or somewhere else? I just need to get back to myself, Sunil. Need a few days for that. If you don't mind, can I stay here for some days? Sunil and Anjali, the perfect friends, give Aniruddha his space to work out what he wants to do. Neither of them have any clue that Aniruddha is a wanted criminal. While Sunil and Anjali leave for work, Aniruddha stays in the house all day thinking about what next to do, how to rebuild his life. Alone at home, he scans the internet for all news about Pallavi's murder case. And he finds that now he is not just a prime suspect, he is wanted for the crime. It's all over the news in Kolkata about Riddhi coming to the cops and confessing about the call that Aniruddha had made. His life is now doomed. While Aniruddha is growing restless in Vashi, same is the condition of Inspector Amitabh in Kolkata. Amitabh has put in every resource he has to trace Aniruddha, yet he hasn't been able to figure out where Aniruddha could have escaped to. We need to find this Aniruddha. How far can he really go? Where can he hide? We have tracked seasoned criminals in no time. What are we missing here? Inspector Amitabh is working overtime and losing his patience in the hunt for Aniruddhas. Pallavi's mother Jayati, unable to bear the loss of her daughter, has fallen ill and is bedridden. Pallavi's father Debnath Sen, even as he is tending to his ailing wife, doesn't miss a single day going to the police station and confronting Amitabh about finding Aniruddha. We are doing everything we can, Debnath. We are not sitting idle. We'll get this Aniruddha. I know that I let him get away, but I will find him. You please take care of your wife, Debnath. Amitabh is harassed over his own failure to nab Aniruddha, but Debnath is unrelenting. He even confronts Aniruddha's parents, Somnath and Geeta, and accuses them of shielding their criminal son. He has even knocked on the doors of Riddhi's house asking her to give up Aniruddha. He called you, Riddhi. Please tell me where he is. He has killed my daughter for your sake. Don't protect him. Debnath cries out. I am not protecting him, Debnath uncle. If I wanted to do that, why would I have gone to the police and told them about the call he made? Please don't accuse me like this. I feel sorry for Pallavi, but I didn't do anything. Riddhi breaks down. Debnath is not able to reconcile to his daughter's death. He seeks justice. Amitabh sits down with his team and puts down every single theory of what Aniruddha would do on his escape. How would he survive? What next step can he take? But these are all theories. Yet he uses all of his experience in criminal investigations to tap every single resource that could lead him up to Aniruddha. It's nearly a month now since the death of Pallavi, and 3 weeks since Aniruddha landed at Vashi at Sunil Ganguly's house. Aniruddha all this while has very carefully not stepped out much. In this time, he has been thinking of all possible avenues available to him to escape being caught. He knows he cannot stay with Sunil for too long. Too many questions he would have to answer. Many a time it has crossed his mind what would happen if he is caught. The time in jail, the trial, all proofs stacked against him, Riddhi giving him away, being sentenced to life imprisonment or even death penalty. Everything crosses his mind and he shudders thinking where he would end up. Sunil and Anjali have been good to him all the while. They have still not sensed anything about his crime. But for how long can he stay there? He has to find some place else to go. But reading all about Amitabh's press briefings, Amitabh's resolve to find Aniruddha, he starts realizing that he cannot escape the consequences of his crime. Not as long as he is the same man, the same name. Amitabh would surely fish him out. Slowly, Aniruddha's mind starts to think like a criminal. What if I am not Aniruddha? He wonders looking at himself in the mirror. What if I am someone else? Cops would be looking for Aniruddhas, but I am not Aniruddhas. The thought of changing his identity seems the best and safest way to keep himself away from being caught. Aniruddha now is sure that this is the only way for him to find a way to life, away from his past, away from being caught, away from the crime he has committed. What would he become now? Who would he become now? With the idea of changing his identity taking concrete shape in his mind, it's not long before Aniruddha hits upon the plan to take up the identity of his friend, Sunil Ganguly. Everything matches. Their education, their job profiles. All it would take is a change in the name. One day, when Sunil and Anjali are at work, back at their home, Aniruddha searches through Sunil's cupboard. He finds a folder with all of Sunil's certificates. Slyly, Aniruddha gets the certificates scanned at a local shop. He transfers the scanned certificates to his laptop and using Photoshop, creates a new one. Forging his own photograph upon an identity card of Sunil, Aniruddha creates a new identity for himself. Will this work? Aniruddha leaves Vashi, bidding goodbye to Sunil and his wife. He has a ticket to Delhi. Gurgaon has now transferred itself into a big IT hub. Using his new identity as Sunil Ganguly, Aniruddha first gets himself a flat on rent. It's his first success in a new identity. The broker doesn't ask too many questions. The agreement for rent is made. It's another document that Aniruddha now has in his hand to further use as a legitimate proof that he is indeed Sunil Ganguly. And now he starts applying for jobs. He is counting on his luck to restart his life as Sunil Ganguly, professionally too. Apart from his failed love story with Riddhi, his marriage to Pallavi, and the subsequent murder of Pallavi, Aniruddha had always excelled at his work as an IT professional. At the work front, he was on his way to achieving a lot. And now, as Sunil Ganguly, his changed identity, things are not any different at the work front. He lands up a good job. He clears the interview, and with his past experience, again a forged background as that of his friend Sunil Ganguly, Aniruddha gets a job at an IT company. His life as Sunil Ganguly has found a start. With the past still haunting him, Aniruddha stays clear of any unwanted interaction with people. Very carefully, he keeps away from any conversation at workplace that would border on background, past, anything to do with what his family is or where he is from. Adopting a completely new persona, a silent, diligent worker, Aniruddha goes about excelling in his work. At a time when the social media has just started finding its place in everyone's life, Aniruddha completely avoids creating any social media account. His daily life is now just going to work, coming back home, not making any new friends, leaving no scope for any interaction. At times, he does think about his parents back in Kolkata. He cries sitting alone, but then never makes any attempt to contact them. It's now 6 months since Pallavi was murdered. Inspector Amitabh has not given up the case, but the case is slowly taking a back seat, with Amitabh getting busy with other new cases. Pallavi's father Devnath still comes every other week to the police station to inquire about the progress in his daughter's case. He is not willing to give up. The press too has moved on to newer happenings around the city. It's just a father who feels guilty he couldn't save his daughter from a wretched fate. Pallavi's mother's condition is worsening. In Gurgaon, as he sits alone every night at his flat, Aniruddha deep inside him wishes that he could go back to the past and change things. He wishes that he could undo the wrong he did, the crime he committed. Despite moving on to other cases, Amitabh too, very much like Aniruddha, wishes that he could have acted faster, not giving in to the pressure around. Arrested Aniruddha under suspicion, the case could have been solved back then. Pallavi's father Devnath too is deeply caught in thoughts of what he could have done better to save his daughter's life. He wonders how did she, in the 3 months of marriage with Aniruddha, never sense that he was still having a relationship with Riddhi. Sometimes he wonders, did Pallavi know about it? Could there have been a fight between her and Aniruddha? And if that was the case, why didn't she ever share it with him? Aniruddha's parents, Somnath and Geeta too, are in the same boat. Why did Aniruddha have to resort to a crime? They keep wondering. Why did he never tell them anything about Riddhi? They pine for their son just as much as Pallavi's parents pining for their daughter. Somewhere their thoughts are the same. He could have left Pallavi. Why did he have to kill her? The Pallavi murder case has not just receded into the background. It's now almost a case that has gone into the files as unsolved case. It's a year now since Pallavi was killed. Her first death anniversary. The first anniversary of incompletions on several fronts. Aniruddha, now Sunil Ganguly, is firmly entrenched in his work, having got a promotion too and very confidently living in his new identity. Shipra Gupta. 26-year-old Shipra Gupta is in Aniruddha's team at his Gurgaon office. For about 3 months, Shipra, working closely with Aniruddha, that is Sunil Ganguly, has developed a liking for him. His quiet demeanor, never indulging in any office politics, just focusing on his work, are all a kind of a persona that she gets attracted to. Aniruddha avoids responding to Shipra's overtures, though he knows that she is drawn to him. One day, After making several attempts to draw Aniruddha's attention towards her, Shipra makes a bold move and asks him why is he avoiding her obvious overtures. I don't know why is it that you are deliberately skirting my approaches, but I want to be direct, Sunil. I am attracted to you, but if there is someone else in your life, you can always tell me. It would be a good reason for me to walk away from you. She says with a smile. Aniruddha is caught in a very awkward situation. He doesn't know what to answer. In the time that Shipra has been trying to get close to him, somewhere he has also developed feelings for her. But he is too scared to let out any emotions. However, this direct approach of hers draws Aniruddha to seek answers of himself. Yes, Shipra. I know how you've been. I can see things, but he fumbles for a proper answer. Say it straight, Sunil. I won't feel hurt if you tell me you don't like me. But I don't think that's the case here. Shipra has probably read his mind. She walks away without waiting for an answer from him, and Aniruddha stands looking at her. In the evening at his home, Aniruddha looks at himself in the mirror. He has come far away from his past, far from Riddhi, far from Pallavi. In this last 1 year, there were several times under anonymity he has looked at Riddhi's Facebook page, wondering what is happening in her life. 3 months back, it was a grief-filled moment when he saw pictures of Riddhi's marriage. Riddhi had settled down with a person probably whom her father had approved of. She was gone from his life. Pallavi, he had removed from his life. He is now a man living in a different identity, though a caged one, where he was all by himself, all to himself. Shipra's approaches towards him had rekindled a lot of things inside him, but he's scared. Should I remain caged in this loneliness? Do I have a right to fall in love again? Can I put away the past in my life and move on? He questions himself. He also finds himself reasoning out the answers to his questions. Why can't you move on? You can't bring back Pallavi to life. You can't have Riddhi back in your life ever again. How long will you live alone, lonely, with only the past haunting you? You have felt guilty enough for what you've done. Life through Sunil Ganguly's identity is actually a rebirth for you, and in the form of Shipra it has come to you on its own, offering a hope for the future. Every saint has a past, every sinner has a future, a quote by Oscar Wilde. But can a man who has committed a brutal murder escape the law, never facing the consequences of his act, have a future? Can he be the criminal and the judge himself? A newfound confidence sees Aniruddha walk up to Shipra the next day, confident and assured. To tell you the truth, I am in love with you as much as you are in love with me, Shipra. It's only that I couldn't muster up the courage to tell you. He blurts out. Shipra is overjoyed. For her, she has found exactly what she has been looking for. But I need to tell you about my past, Shipra. About who I am and where I come from. Aniruddha says. Shipra skips a heartbeat. Is there something in Sunil's past she needs to be wary about? Is it a past affair, a past marriage? She wonders. Aniruddha, having convinced himself that he deserves a second chance in life, has also conjured up a past that would be far, far away from the reality. I am an orphan. I don't have a family. I lost my parents 15 years back in an accident. I was brought up by an aunt. I don't have anything that can be called a family, Shipra. As such, I am a loner. Aniruddha makes up a past about himself, a fictitious past. And he knows that this fictitious past of his would in no way come in to obstruct his relationship with Shipra. True to what he had thought, Shipra is relieved that it's not a past she needs to worry about. You scared me to hell, Sunil. I was thinking, is there something dubious in your past that you're going to confess? Oh my God. Shipra heaves a sigh of relief. She holds his hands tight. I am your family. My family is your family, Sunil. She tells him lovingly. Shipra's parents living in Mumbai have no objection to Shipra's choice of a life partner. They had always given her the freedom to make her own decisions in life. They are very happy to meet Sunil Ganguly. The next month, Shipra and Aniruddha get married. A very quiet court marriage as per what Aniruddha wanted. And together they set up their home in Gurgaon, where both of them are working. Sunil and Shipra Ganguly, the nameplate outside their flat. He has left his past behind and embarked on a new journey. Back in Kolkata, the Pallavi murder case has now become a cold case. Lost in the maze of many such cases that have remained unsolved. Inspector Amitabh has also moved on to a new position in the police force. He has been promoted considering his years of service. But this one case that remains unsolved continues haunting him. He is now a regular visitor at Pallavi's parents' house. A sense of guilt is also the reason he visits her father Debnath. He is by Debnath's side when, after a year of illness, Pallavi's mother Jayati passes away. In the moments he is away from his work, Amitabh still keeps thinking about the case, about where could Aniruddha have vanished, what could have happened to him. How could he have survived all along hiding his past? But it's all futile. He is still out there far away from the hands of law. Aniruddha's parents Somnath and Geeta have reconciled to their lives. They pine for their son, but also hope that wherever he is, he finds happiness. They do want to see their son, at the same time do not want to see him suffer. Can Aniruddha really find happiness in his newfound marriage with Shipra? How long can he carry on without Shipra ever doubting about his real past? How long can he carry on the charade of being Sunil Ganguly? We will continue with Aniruddha's story next week and find out if he can really survive too long in his new identity, or will the law catch up with him soon.